Hi, I'm going to attempt to share with you how I do random stamping on paper. This is just a 6 by 6 inch piece of white cardstock. And the stamp set that I'm going to be working with today is, what is it called? It's called Floral Blooms. I'm not sure if it's still available. I'll have to actually check through Close to My Heart. It's nice thing is it has the die cuts that go with it. So I'm gonna set that aside. And oh, actually, I should mention too, for today's card, I'm going to actually be using the stamps that are more of the solid stamps as opposed to the outline ones. Just preference for today. You can use whichever one you want. Anyways, let's get started. So typically what I would do is I'm going to start with one of the bigger images, and I'm just going to literally random stamp it. Okay, so this one it's my table. I'm a little nervous about this because it is a little bit shaky when I'm videotaping, and please forgive me for that. There's nothing I can do about it. So, okay, so this one is actually Glacier ink. I'll tell you all the different colors that I'm working with. So Glacier is my first one. And then I'm going to use another large. So I'm working with some of my largest stamps first. That's what you want to start with. And you're just going to build from there. And changing out my color. This one is Carolina. Okay, so I'm just kind of, the reason why I'm doing that is because some of these solid stamps are not inking up as well as I would hope. And they're not, I think because of my table, I don't know if there's a little bit of give. It's, sometimes the bigger ones are hard to fully stamp. That's why I'm lifting up and giving it a little bit of pressure from underneath. Okay, so now I'm gonna fill in. I've got this dark green, which is evergreen. I'm gonna just start filling in and just kind of seeing the curve of where things can kind of tuck in. So I'm just going to use that and start filling with other stamps. And here's a leaf. This one is Clover ink. And I'm going to use this one. This is a dark blue called Harbor. A little bit smaller flower, but it tucks in well there. And then I'm going to do back to Clover Green, and I'm just going to tuck this one in there. Sorry. Okay, so this one I'm changing out my color. This is called Bluebird. I think I'll use Bluebird again, but just a different flower. I'll tuck that one right in there. Okay. I'm going to go back to, actually I'm going to use this one. This one is called Sage, this green. It's a really light green. It just kind of tucks in there. That one fits well. Okay, I'm back to my dark blue Harbor. I'll tuck that one there. And now I think I'm going to go back to one of my big flowers again. And I'm going to use Carolina ink. Okay, put that one in there. I'm going to go back to my fern and the evergreen. And another big stamp, back to the Glacier. Put that one in there. I'm gonna tuck this one. This is evergreen, and this is a leaf that I haven't used yet. Put that one there. I think actually I'll use it down here too. Okay, and I'm gonna go back to sage. Tuck that one in there. I think I'll use it again right here. Kind of just fits right there. Okay, so I'm just kind of looking at my colors that I have, and I'm just going to see. I'm going to put this dark blue here. And bring in some more of this bluebird. I'm going to bring in some more clover over here, so I'll put that one there. Oops, I noticed I got a bit of ink on my finger. Okay. I'll just have to make sure that that's in a spot that'll get covered when I'm using this piece of cardstock. Okay, and I'm going to go back to this one. That's clover again. And now I'm going to do 3. I want to do one more of these big glacier flowers. And I want this fern leaf to come back in here too. Tuck that in there. That's with the evergreen. And then clover, I'll do this leaf here. Okay, so the majority of the space is filled in. I'm gonna just start working with some smaller flowers and really just fill in some of this space. Okay, I think I'll grab some more of this green. Okay, just working on filling it up some more. Making sure there's a good variety of color everywhere. And I'm also kind of looking at my perimeter to fill in wherever it feels like there's some bare spots. So I'm going to do that. Okay, I'd like some more sage. So I'll put a little bit here. Maybe I think I want this dark leaf. I'll put him down here. Okay, and I think I want this dark blue back down this corner. All right, so what are we missing in here? I think maybe some, actually I might even just use some glacier in there too. All right. So the majority of it's filled in, and now this is where I'm gonna grab these little stamps. These are great for just filling in all the little spaces. So this is just from an alphabet stamp. It's literally just the dot, the period. And then these are from a stamp set. It's a little older one. It's called Documented Scrapbooking. Nice thing is that it is, it's like these little paint splatters. And so I think they would work really great on something like this. So I'm going to start with the one with the most clusters. And I'm just going to kind of fill in I'm using the dark blue right now. And I'm filling that into any of the larger spaces. And I'm making sure to just twist it to see what the best fit is. Okay, so that's that for that one. I think that's good. So I'm going to go with a smaller cluster now. And actually, I think I'll start with a light color. Start with the Glacier and just kind of fill in wherever it needs a little bit of color, a little bit of filler. And I'm just gonna turn it as I stamp. So every time I stamp, I'm gonna turn it a little, half turn, quarter turn. Okay, and because that's a light color, I can just easily stamp into my next stamp pad. I'm not too worried about the color getting transferred. It's such a small stamp. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and switch it out to the darker again. So now I'm working on Bluebird. And this will just fill in all your empty spaces anywhere you have them. And it just adds a little touch of color here and there. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Now the other thing is I'm going to bring in some black. I'm going to use this black dot just to add a little bit of different color in. I will be using black with my sentiment, so I thought why not pull in the black too. It's very subtle because it's such a small dot, but it's there. And I'm actually going to dot all my centers of my flowers that have just open space. Is there any other ones? Okay, I think that's it. So I'm just going to keep filling this in here and there. Okay, so because that's a dark color, I'm going to actually clean this a little bit and then switch to a different color. I think I might go with a sage actually. Just fill in a little bit more. See how it's just filling in? Looks great actually. I'm happy with how it's turning out. Just adds a little color here and there. Now I think I'll grab some green, a little bit darker. And we're almost done. So it doesn't take that long. Okay. Add one more there. Just looking it over to see if there's any spots that I feel like I need to add a little extra, but honestly, I think it's looking pretty good. It's pretty filled in now. Okay, so there you go. That's it. That's as much as I do with when I'm doing random stamping. It's literally random. I do tend to try to work in clusters of 3s. So you can see I have 3 of the sage green pattern there. I've got 3 of these flowers. I didn't quite manage to get 3 of these big ones on of these. I've got 3 of those ones. Oh, 3 in there. Anyway, just trying to work with 3s for the majority. So that's it. And I'm going to quickly show you. So I did one earlier today and created these cards using my random stamp piece. And this is what I made. I'll quickly show the stamp set that I used for the sentiment. It's called Starter Sentiments. I like it just because it's got some nice sized sentiments on. They're quite big and chunky, which is kind of nice sometimes. And the thing about the way to cut it, so for these cards in particular, what I did was I trimmed my 6x6 piece into I took the 2-inch strip down the one side and then trimmed off 1/2 inch, so then you have a 5.5 by 2-inch piece. And then with my remaining piece, it was 6 by 4 inches, and I literally just cut it in half, so you have 2 pieces that measure 3 inches by 4 inches, and that's what I used. I used those 2 pieces on these 2 cards, and then the longer strip I used on this one here. But anyways, I hope you got something out of this video, that it maybe will give you some courage to try it yourself if you haven't tried it, or maybe inspire you to pull out your inks and your stamps and just play. I just like that you know, you can play with these colors and create something that's really cool. Like, these colors don't typically, I would never think that they go together, but they actually work really nicely together, and I was quite surprised how well they looked. Anyways, if you do decide to create something, you should share with me. I would love to see what you make. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.